Hey, what's up, Laura? What are we doing?
Pretty good, Jared. How are you?
Good.
Hey, so Levi sent me some information. I sent it to you by text, I think.
Oh, okay.
But he said that one email he got and he never heard back from me either. So,
Back from another horn. Okay. What did you send it through text message, you said?
I sent you an email. I think he sent you another email, but I sent you it by text. Oh,
Oh,
let's see, I sent you by Messenger. Is actually I sent it because I forwarded it through Messenger, but I sent you a text saying I sent you a message.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. Okay. I just sent him an email too. uh, mhm. Okay, okay. Can you send it through text? Laura, where are you? I get too many messages, and I have the worst habit of like, yeah, I'll respond. Like I see someone text me and I respond, but then like I get so many texts per day, and that's not a. I mean, it's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong, but doesn't.
Oh, I totally understand. Okay, I need to answer that one. I'll go back and answer this one.
Yeah, yeah,
And you-
exactly. What? I can't even. So you sent it through Messenger, right? Where all the info?
Yeah, but he sent me. I sent you through Messenger
Got it, got it. So Laura.
because then I sent you
Oh,
a
I see.
text to say, hey, I sent you through this messenger. So hopefully at one point you would see something.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. Okay, I got it. It's hard to break down the net since the insurance policy is an umbrella covering all of the properties. So there isn't one directly the address, but 36,000 coming in. The annual taxes are 2,100, and there is 36,000. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's right. Um, it's 2,100. Did not email him a few days ago. Okay. Looks like the got it. Okay. Yeah, so I just emailed him back to set up a Zoom with the seller, and hopefully we can get something negotiated, created. I love it.
Great. Yeah, just let me know when you do the Zoom so I can have you available.
Yep, perfect. I love the Papa Woody name. That's awesome. Oh, no, you changed it. Change it back to Papa Woody. That was great. That was great. Come on, man. I loved it.
Yeah,
So that's great.
I
Um,
I ought to get a little professional one day,
no, no need. It's all good. Oh, by the way, that deal in Draper that we're talking about, the 1.3,
Yeah.
um, they came back to me. The auction date got pushed out to the 31st, and it looks like we're going to get things under contract today.
Oh, nice.
I'll send you the information before I send it out to everyone else so you guys take a look at it.
Okay, be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Excellent, guys. Sweet. Well, let's get this show on the road. All right. So what I really want to talk about, and we'll open up for questions too here in a little bit. But what I really want to talk about or plan, I should say, is creating your avatar. And this is something that's really, really important, even though it sounds kind of tedious and just time consuming. Creating your avatar, what is it? So we're creating like your ideal customer, your ideal seller is the idea, is to get a mental image, because who here loves cold calling, or who loves reaching out for the first time, whether that's through to the seller, door knocking. Like this is like this is exciting, I love it. What, no one? Right? What? Kinda. Janie's a kinda. Okay, that's cool. I get it. Right? Um, yeah, like contacting the sellers, like when if that's the method of your contact, like cold calling or door knocking, it can suck. It really, with the wrong mindset, reaching out to sellers sucks. Because what is the number one fear of most people? They say public speaking, but that's all take back into fear of rejection. The fear of rejection is the mother of all fears. When we make that call, when we're knocking on the door, we're talking to the agent, there's always that fear of rejection. It's always lingering. You can muddle most fears, like through interactions, through the fear of rejection. And that's one of the reasons why it sucks with the wrong mindset when you're cold calling, when you're knocking on doors. Absolutely. And so one thing that I've learned is, because for those who have seen the let me make you guys a couple of you co-hosts, if you can just keep an eye on this, people join.
Jared, I think my biggest hang up with that is that not so much fear of rejection, but the fear of not knowing how to rebuttal things they say. Like either it's an experience or education of how to, just win that to my way of thinking, and to see the picture how I see it. And so obviously that comes
Right.
with time and practice and training. So that's probably my biggest thing was like, what
Well,
did Jared say in that one call, or what did that one training say? And then I feel like I have to know it all to be able to really,
and if you
you
don't
know,
know it all, what happens? You get rejected.
yeah, I guess it boils down to that. That's
It
true.
really boils down to the fear of rejection. When you
That
break
makes
it down, because you're 100% right. I think that's there's so many layers to it. But when reality comes down to through interaction with fellow human beings, the number one fear is fear of rejection. They rejected me because I didn't know all of the right words to say. I didn't know the right system, or I didn't know the right strategy to make this deal happen. They rejected me because of this. I got rejected because I didn't know this thing. I got rejected because my script isn't very good. It all boils down to rejection. And so with that being said, that's why it sucks when we're making phone calls. It can suck when we're making phone calls, when we're reaching out. So what we need to do is change the meaning of certain things. We need to change the meaning of what we're doing, what the action is. Like when can somebody, like in any hobby that someone might have, like let's just say, like, hiking. If hiking's like a really fun hobby, but it's, to one person it's a very, very fun hobby. They get to feel outside, the fresh air in their lungs. But to another person, it's like you're hiking uphill, you're sweaty, there's bugs that are eating you, and you get dirty and sweaty, gross, and then you don't have the water, and then you slip and fall. It's the same activity, but for two different people means two different things. So it's not so much that the act is scary, it's the definition, the meaning that we're giving it, the reasoning behind it. So if we can change why, our purpose, or what we are interpreting what we're doing to being something positive and good, it's not a hard thing. If hiking is my favorite hobby to do, you don't have to convince me to go hiking. It's like, oh yeah, I'm there, let's do it. I'm crack of the dawn, I'm out in the mountains. Versus someone that hates hiking, they're like, oh man, I've got to go hiking again. It, it's totally different, right? The motivation is just different, even though it's the same activity, it's just different meanings. So what creating the avatar does, it puts things into perspective of actually what we're trying to do. So yes, we're trying to make money, 100%. But let me give you guys a little context and why and how this is going to change me. So there are people right now, and we're going to go over a little bit of psychology for like the seller and also the some of the situations that they're in. So if they're going through foreclosure, maybe going through divorce, bankruptcy, they lost a loved one, and now they have to deal with this whole property. The majority of people that we're contacting, they're in most likely the worst time of their lives. Pure and simple. And so this is like they lost a job. They're struggling on their payments. And here's the thing, every time that they get a phone call, if I'm behind on my payments, do you think they're on my house payment? Am I gonna be behind on any other payments as well? Yeah. Yeah, I'm behind on my car payment. I'm behind on my utilities. I've been in people's houses and talked about buying their house, and there was no utilities. There's no power. It shut off, and they had kids there. Like it's not a fun feeling to have someone in that situation, right? But it's really cool that we have the skill sets where we can actually help them out of the tough situation and get them into a better situation instead of just losing everything, right? So think about that for just a second. There's someone literally, so whatever your beliefs are, but there's someone right now like on their knees praying that Jenny's going to give them a call, or someone like they may not even understand or know that investor can come and buy their house before the auction and stop and give them money, and so they actually can leave and not have the foreclosure hanging over them for the next 7 years. They probably don't know that, but they're asking, they're on their knees right now, praying that Brian's going to give them a call and help them out of this tough situation. They're literally praying. If you knew for a fact that someone out there was praying for you or hoping for the universe to bring it up, whatever the beliefs are, but if they're praying for you to call them to help them, would it be hard for you to pick up the phone and make that call if you knew that for certainty? No. I generally I would say, I mean, yeah, I don't think it would be very hard at all. It'd be a completely different meaning. So if someone just lost their spouse, their loved one, their parents that they're close with, and they're dealing with their brothers and sisters that are trying to get the funds, all the money, and they have that one brother that thinks they deserve more than everyone else, and they're dealing with all of this headache, and they're like trying to find an agent to sell it. They're hoping that Bruce calls them and gives them a really quick and easy solution. They're praying for that. So knowing that and having this avatar created that's in this situation, when you're making that phone call, you're just every no just turns into I'm closer to talking to that person. It's a different meaning. When someone says no, if I have this avatar created, and I know that Maria's my avatar, Maria's out there, and she has 4 kids. She just lost her job. She got behind on her payments. The ex-husband's a deadbeat husband. She finally got him out, and she just wants to sell the house. She just wants a little money in her pocket so she can move on. She wants a better situation for her family. That's all she wants. And she's praying that I'm going to give her a call, that I'm going to send out that letter, that I'm going to send that email to her to help her with her situation. So when I'm calling someone else and someone else answers and they're a jerk to me, like, okay, great, you're not Maria anyways. That's fine. It changes the rejection completely because I'm just getting closer and closer and closer to helping Maria. Now, Maria may end up being Bob, but that's okay. It's still that person, right? So the avatar, this works best the more detail you put into it. I know this sounds kind of silly, but the more detail you put into it, the more visualization is the word I'm looking for. The more details you can put, easier to visualize, and becomes more real into your mind about this person, about this avatar. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a memory and imagination. When I remember something, when I remember seeing something, the same part of my brain that actually interprets like vision is activated. So the same parts of your brain, when you remember something, it recreates it. And so when we're visualizing this person, we're going like I'm helping this person, your brain, you're really tricking our brain, like making this thing real. And that's what kind of without getting to manifestation or like that. That's how that kind of works too, is because you're visualizing yourself closing that deal. You're in the closing table. Marie's giving a hug because she's just so happy that this problem's gotten fixed. And you feel it inside you, and it's like this is already happened. It's all in escrow. It's just in process of being happening right now. So having this avatar is crucial for you to take more action, to do more MMAs. If you really generally create this avatar, and we'll go over the steps on how to do it, you will be doing more money making activities than you ever have before. I promise you. But you have to do it. I want a physical copy too. Okay. All right. Any thoughts on that or questions before I go into like the process of how to create the avatar? But you guys understand like why it's important to create this avatar, this ideal seller that you need. And again, the more detailed the possible. You want to have as much as what their jobs are, what they used to do, all of that stuff. Maria used to work at Walmart, so I can connect. And another thing too is like you want to have some sort of emotional connection to it. So there was someone in last season that she herself went through foreclosure or no bankruptcy years ago. She knows how that feels. It is not a great feeling. She knows exactly how that feels, and so her avatar is someone going through the foreclosure process, or that's about to go into foreclosure. So when she's thinking about that, her avatar, she can get emotionally attached, and connected to that person who she's calling. So if you ever or even know someone that maybe gone through some situations like that, maybe my suggestion would be try to tap into that emotion and create your avatar into that fold or into that or in that situation, I guess you'd say. So the avatar what you want to do is you want a first and last name, their age, profession, and their situation as detailed as much as possible. So Maria, she has 4 kids. She was working at Walmart. She lost her job, and she got behind her payments. Her mother's helping her out, but she's really just got behind in everything. She's about to go through they're in the process of going through the foreclosure process, and she just wants to sell the property pretty much willing to do subject to. She doesn't know what it is yet, but she will be willing to do subject to. And she just wants to basically sell it for what she has and just walk away from it and feel relieved because she has a new opportunity to get a new apartment and to move on to her next life or the next step in her life, next life. Gracious. And the even like the kids like you can do the more details you do, the better it's going to be. Pure and simple. So you're going to do the name, age, situation. Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have jobs? Are they going through foreclosure? Are they going through? Did their aunt pass away? Are they a retiring couple? Is it another landlord that has like 5 properties and just want to get rid of it all because they're about to retire and they're sick and tired of evicting these bad tenants that are destroying their property? That's a great avatar. And create this avatar. And so after you go with details as much as humanly possible, try to attach some sort of emotion to it. That's going to be very, very helpful. And then jump on ChatGPT or any other AI generated image and plug in that same description into and ask to create a realistic image of this person. And if you're not comfortable or really understand that stuff too much, it's really like honestly just ChatGPT free and just make a realistic image of this person. Here's the description, enter. It'll give you some options. If not, you can just go on Google Images and just say, Maria, she's in her 40s. And then just like I put in some description of a person and then just give me some existing images and I just have that there, right? So I can print it off. So even if you don't want to use the AI generator or whatever, you just go on Google Images. So yeah, absolutely. It's important to pull it up and see exactly what the image, or excuse me, what the actual avatar. Can't even think about it. And then once you pull it, once you have that, you want to have the description. And the picture ideally. Like print it out if you can, right? And then have it out so you can they can see it, and that people can so you can kind of have a visualization. So before you're making those phone calls, before you're knocking on the door, um, you can visualize that person and how excited they're going to be when you give them a call. Maybe they're not going to be excited at first because they don't know you, they don't know what you're doing because they've been getting calls from bill collectors all day, and if they don't, I mean, hopefully you've never been in the situation, but when you're in the situations of like foreclosure, for example, like every call is a reminder of how much you suck paying your bills, how much you suck as a provider, every phone call. And so when you're in this situation, like every call, like your heart just pounds, and so you're on guard 100%. And so that's why like having the script that we use to kind of get past those things are very helpful. So I would definitely recommend that you have that there, and then like you're calling. So when you're calling, you're making these calls and you're getting rejection, right? So we're going to talk about going for no. We can probably talk about go for no in this call too. But when you're getting these rejections, it's like, okay, cool. That's no problem. I just made 30 calls and like everyone told me no. I'm getting closer to Maria. I'm almost there. So when you get to that point where you're like, okay, cool. This is Maria. This is her situation, and then it's just you're like, I'm almost there, and it might be, like I said, might be Bob that answers, might be that that actually is in a similar situation where I'm thinking. It's funny, Frank, when we were at the cold calling bonanza, Frank's avatar is a person that's about to retire, or actually, hey Frank, are you in a spot? I know you're working around this time, but are you in a spot where you can come off mute for a second? Maybe not. So, oh yeah. So tell us a little bit about your avatar, and then when you're doing the cold calling bonanza, what happened there?
My ideal avatar is
Oh, bummer. I think bad reception.
all couple, whether they are separated, right? Like, can they just
All right,
men
what
or
was that,
can they
Frank?
just off?
We didn't hear
And
anything you just said.
oh, okay, yeah. My ideal avatar was a retired old people, like either a female or a male, at the age of 80, ideally, uh, and struggling with payments or having a low income, like retirement income, low income,
Mm-hmm.
looking for a better retirement, looking for a better retirement. When when I was doing the calling, and actually this leader was a hot lead. I ran a campaign, and then this leader came out, and I decided to call that day. And yeah, it's actually a lady looking for a retirement. Uh, Her husband is in the hospital, and they don't know what to do with the house, and they want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scheduled calling today.
And so when you're calling what was it? So it was on Saturday. So what happened when you were making those calls? Like you found someone that's like almost exactly your avatar, wasn't it?
It's almost exactly because that's basically her situation.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe, yeah. Where am I at right now? It's not good service, so maybe breaking down.
Sorry, what was that again?
Yeah, sorry. Where am I right now? Not a
No,
good
no, no,
service,
no.
or
I didn't hear what you said the last part. It's coming in and out.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, basically the avatar. Well, the lady that I call, it's
Mhm.
basically really close to the descriptions of my ideal avatar. Really, really close. Like
Right.
maybe two few details, but that's it. Yeah. Now
Right.
I got surprised. It's like, damn, this works. This really works.
Right. And it makes a real life it makes a real connection, right? So, oh cool. Margie put this is okay. So one thing I would recommend, Frank, is to actually put a name on the person and not just a man or woman, but obviously, and here's the thing, like obviously, like if like my avatars is the woman or like she's Maria, she's 40 and she's going through these challenges here. Doesn't mean that the person oh sorry, you're a guy in your 20s about to lose your house. Sorry, I'm actually looking for a lady in her 40s. See ya. That's not the case, right? You're not going to do that. If you are going to do that, give me their number first, and then hang up. Then that's fine. I'll give them a call. But that's not that. But you want to be as specific as possible because you're making it as real as possible. Does that make sense? Like you're having a connection with that person, even if it's fictitious. It could be a fictitious person, but you're still having that connection, right? So my suggestion would be to be as detailed as humanly possible. Okay, and that's going to be massively helpful. And have it out as much as you can. Does anybody have any questions about like avatar and creating it, or what's your what's your or what's your thoughts on that, guys?
Hey, Jared. So
Yes.
I was nicely resistant to the avatar thing before, and I finally came up with one that works for me because it was something that I'm more familiar with. So
Mm-hmm.
like you talk often about foreclosure and bankruptcy, and though I've helped clients with that, I don't have any real that side of experience with it. So it always felt like I was trying to like remember something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, what's that like? Let's try to think about that again. And just didn't connect. So I chose the avatar of people that I've actually helped before, and
Yeah.
that like it's just easy. So I just changed their name, so I'm not thinking about any of my one particular client, but they
Mm-hmm.
are older. It's an older couple, and they invested a little bit in properties. So they have an investment property that I just need to find their investment property. They're not ready to leave their home, but they're ready to stop being landlords. And I have a couple of those that they just want to kind of have a transaction where I do everything for them because they're older and they just don't really want to go through figuring out and doing it. So they want me to make it as easy as possible for them so that they're in a better spot and then for going forward. And Paul and Maggie are out there and they
Yeah.
have those properties, and I've helped Paul's and Maggie's before in a different capacity. So I just got to find my Utah Paul and Maggie's.
I like that. Yeah. And again, even if you haven't been in a tough situation like that before, I mean that's fine. I mean that's not a problem. It's just if you have something like that or know someone then you can kind of pull from that as far as like the emotion wise, right? How does that feel? And was it, you know what I mean? But absolutely, I totally get where you know
There's a
it's.
lot of emotion in it for me though, because in my line of what I've done before, Paul and Maggie had already passed. When I was helping Paul and Maggie, I was helping their frantic non-investor, not really decision maker, like not in the mode of life. They're like grieving and not wanting to make decisions, and they're just flailing with getting these properties from their parents. They don't know what to do about the deferred maintenance because the parents couldn't do it after a while. It's essentially getting to Paul and Maggie why I can still help them, why I can still skip that kind of downward spiral of them not being able to take care of it and do it for themselves, and the properties don't get that bad, and the tenants don't have landlords that don't respond. Those problems don't occur for the family, where the money can go to Paul and Maggie, and Paul and Maggie can be in a good spot while they're still alive, their kids are still alive, and their tenants can be well taken care of. So it's emotional for me now because I'm like, I can help the Paul and Maggies that I didn't know about until it was beyond the time of being able to help them, and I was helping their kids in a less desirable setup than just helping Paul and Maggie. So I gotta find them.
Right. No, that's, I mean, I love that. Yeah. So, do you find that when you now that you made that the avatar, is it easier to kind of have the reach or to give you that motivation to keep on going once that's actually created?
Yeah, because I know those situations and understand them. So it's not like I'm doing it for the first time. It's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not getting into situations where I'm not going to know the most. So if myself or maybe someone else in the group was looking and searching out somebody that had um, a bankruptcy, I've done very little bankruptcy situations in my my previous career. So I would feel like I'm like just learning one step ahead of them at best. And it wouldn't really
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel like I'd be helping and guiding them as good as I could. I'd almost feel like I'd want to partner with someone else that knew that more. But this, I know this and I know how to help these people. I have elderly parents. I've helped my own parents. I have a
Mm-hmm.
dad with Alzheimer's. Like I know these situations where if it doesn't get better, if somebody doesn't step in and say, I can guide you, help you, and solve the problem that's starting to occur in your life, that like I've I've done that for clients, I've done that for myself, and I can kind of like be the in I don't know the word besides authority, but I don't mean authority. I just mean like the one that has the answer that can actually guide them and help them and give them options and kindly walk them through it and alleviate that stress and give them choices. Like it's it's a much better fit
Mm-hmm.
because I wouldn't have to run back to a class. I could just be like, I know how to help you. I
Right.
know what you're going through. I know how you feel. I know how your kids feel. I am your kids on the other side.
Yeah. No, totally. No, absolutely. Yeah. And it gives you a little more confidence to kind of go in there and reach out, right? To try to talk to people about the situations. And um it's uh
It's for Avatar clicked for me with like it's like a key to a lock sort of. Like which lock do I want to unlock? This key. Like which lock do I want to look for in order to have it click and work? Like they would have the
yeah.
properties that I would want. They would have had them for a long time. They would not be recently renovated because with all the clients that helped before, they were, very much deferred maintenance. Like
Mm-hmm.
the tenants are just hanging on because the rent is cheap, but the landlords haven't been in a position to be proactive landlords. Like the values could come up even just by modernizing a lot of things like how rent is paid and things like that. So there's different ways that I could make the situation better and they're in the spot where I need them to, as opposed to somebody being like, yeah, I'm about to go into bankruptcy and there's no equity and my I like whatever their situation is, where I'd be like, all right, I will do my best, but it's not necessarily going to be my initial passion.
Right.
So I figured out the lock to my key, and
Love that.
whether it's a Paul or a Maggie or anything in that vein, that's my avatar. So thank
No,
you for that.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And again, I encourage everyone to like before you're making that call, right? Like, or before you start making those phone calls, you go out there and or you visualize, like what's it like going to be talking to her or to him or her, or them, whatever it is, right? What's it like talking to that person, um, and how can I, how good do we feel once I actually get a hold of that person? What's going to feel like when I'm closing the when we're at the closing table and you fix that problem, whatever problem that they were needing your help with. What does that feel like? How does that feel for you? And those type of emotions is what you're trying to want to draw on, and to it's going to be different. Like when you're making those phone calls, it's when you're knocking on those doors, when you're sending out those mailers, when you're worried about like oh I'm too busy or whatever. But like, you know what, your avatar, they don't care that you're too busy or you got too much stuff going on or whatever it is, or the kids are just driving you nuts, your spouse is, you want to just throw them out the window. you know they're going through a lot worse hell than we are, right? So it's like when you really have that emotional connection to that, it creates that drive to take action. So I love it. So who else has created? I know. So Marjorie, you shared. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Marjorie, for sharing your link of your avatar, the image, and the description. Um, has that helped at all as far as like you taking action or reaching out, or did you make it kind of set it and forget it, or if you don't mind being vulnerable? But how's that been helping you, Marjorie?
I will be honest, I kind of forgot about it until now. When I knew that we were doing this particular one, I'm like, oh crap. But at the same
Right.
time, I've kind of thought about it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
just because, well, just like in this call right now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a new one and it's going to relate more to me and my circumstances and everything, my family circumstances. But it kind of comes to the forefront a little bit here and there, just like, hey, you know what? I've never been in a foreclosure situation. I've worked in a law office that worked with foreclosures and bankruptcies and whatnot. But then I was single at the time, and I'm like, I hope I never get to that situation, and I still hope to never be in that situation. But at the same time, it's like I'd like to put that in the forefront of my mind also because it could at any time. Because here, 6 years ago, my husband lost his job
Mm-hmm.
while I was pregnant with our youngest, and that could have easily happened to us. Thankfully, it didn't, but
Right.
at the same time, it could have happened. So,
Right. So I would recommend everyone to here's what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is I want everyone to write out their avatar. Right. Let's spend the next 15 minutes and just writing out the description, what they're going through, and then we're um we're gonna do it right now because sometimes it's like cool, yeah, I'm gonna make my avatar. That's a good idea, and then we're done with the call. Then what happens? We go off and we start doing our XYZ, and then oh yeah, I got to call that seller. I got to do this, that, and then then what happens? We don't end up actually making the avatar, right? Thanks, Bruce, for putting some images of your work in progress, as you put it, right, or still working on it, right? Your avatar. I put in this is in the picture of Maria in there. I also put mine as well, but it's that's funny. Like the AI images are kind of funny sometimes. I'm
Well,
looking
and
at the
this
first
isn't
one.
Chat GPT is actually much better, but since I'm into AI, I've got a downloadable works on my computer kind of thing, and so I decided to try that as my first go at this. But I just thought it was funny. There's no kids except for in
Yeah.
the middle one,
Well,
and you're supposed to have 4 kids,
and there's
and
the
not
the
two
baby
husbands and
arms.
not 2 wives.
Well, and then like the yeah. Well, one of the wives looks like a man's body. Yeah, it has Adam's apple. The middle one has Adam's apple and a chick's face.
Yeah, exactly. So,
That's
you
hilarious.
guys will probably have some fun with it. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of my avatar is actually listed up top in that big, huge paragraph. But you might have to be a little more descriptive when you go to AI.
You got double-headed. They're Siamese
Yeah,
twins. There you are.
yeah, exactly.
I tell him to be Pacific. He's getting Pacific. I dig that. That's cool. You got.
So you'll have some fun with it too.
I love that. I love that so much. Okay, cool. Here, and any questions about creating the avatar first of all, or thoughts or insights for those that have. Um,
Yeah, I have one question.
yeah, what's up?
So how do I send it to you or?
Yeah, so what I would like is exactly what Marjorie did a while ago is to make a post with your avatar and include an image on it and put it into and make a post in the community.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
thank you.
so that is that's what we want to do and put in there, and then also comment on two other people's avatars. Let's the thing is that like you're supposed to comment what your goals are going to be, and don't worry, by Monday on Monday I'm going to get everyone assigned battle squad, but on like comment on each other's posts too. It's gonna give encouragement. This is like a community, and it's we get what we put into it. Okay, so what I want to do for the next like 10-15 minutes is we're gonna even on your phone, like write out the avatar. If you don't have time or you haven't played with AI or not, maybe not so much the image, but at least the script of what the avatar is, And so this is what's going to be, let's see, the classroom, okay. Because if we're gone through at least the start here section, it goes over like what the avatar's supposed to do, what it's supposed to have, you know. So for an let me put this in the comments here. So in the comments is creating like the life situation, right? So name, age, life situation. So Maria, 38, mother of two, overwhelmed by financial stress, but hopeful for a solution. Identify their pain points. Ask yourself, what are they struggling with? Behind the mortgage payment, stress about losing their home, unsure where to turn as an example. Think about what they want to achieve. Like find relief. Again, selling the house is just one. Is that's the surface level. But what does that mean if they sold their house to you? What would that give them emotionally? Like if I'm going through foreclosure and Bruce comes and buys my house, he didn't just save me. Like he gave me that relief that it's when you're so buried down and you feel like there's no other solution, and then like an angel named Bruce comes in and offers me the solution. It's like it's emotional, it's tear driven. I mean, that this is what does that mean? How does that feel? You know, and then visualize them, right? So we're gonna take 10 we're take 15 minutes, and I want everyone, and if you already done that, go over it again. You know, I mean, look at your avatar, see if you want to change anything, and if you're in a spot, print it out and have it somewhere where you can look at it. If you have an office, put it on the wall if you can. I admittedly I don't have mine on my wall, which I need to, which I'll do right now actually. But you know, put it up so you can actually see it. You know, feel it, touch it. But you know, so it's there, and it's a reminder because I think Marjorie's experience is very common even after we make it. You know, because we make it cool, awesome, and then it's it's forgotten about, right? Because we're just doing life, and that's super common. I mean, I get it. It's understandable. So we're gonna spend that little time right now and then create it. If you're in a spot to print off right then and there, maybe put a reminder in your phone when you do get home to print it off. Um, all of all of that stuff. Does that make sense, guys? Any questions? No? Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna I'm gonna probably put on some tunes so everyone can hear it, and then okay. All right, so we're gonna recombine like in like 10, 15 minutes.
If you got tunes on, you might have to share your audio, or I guess we do our own tunes.
I'm gonna read mine. Oh, where's my camera? You guys can keep on working on it if you need to, but so Maria Lopez is 42, balance the demands of her full-time retail job with the needs of her two children, Daniel 10 and Isabella 8. After her divorce, she managed to keep the house, but inherited a mortgage too large for a single income. Medical bills for Isabella's sudden asthma attack set her back financially, causing her to miss a couple of mortgage payments. Though Maria has never been one to shy away from hard work, she regularly logs extra hours at her store. She's finding the weight of the mortgage notice and the mounting debt almost impossible to bear. Letters from the bank serves as a daily reminder that the foreclosure could be imminent. To make matters worse, the house needs costly repairs, a leaky roof and outdated plumbing among them. She's talked to a few real estate agents, but the prospects of cleaning, repairing, staging, and then waiting for an offer feels overwhelming. She's already paying for professionals' advice, but no one seems to offer a quick solution that fits her tight financials and time constraints. Maria hopes someone just like me will give her a call and buy the home as is, sparing her the expense and hassle of renovations. If she can walk away with a small profit, just a few thousand, she'd be able to secure an apartment in the same school district so Daniel and Isabella doesn't have to change schools. The kids mean everything to her. She refuses to let them see how panicked she truly is. At the end of the day, Maria's dreams of a simple life free from fear of foreclosure. She's confident that if she can just sell the house quickly and just a little cash in hand, she can rebuild her financial footing. For now, she wakes up each morning, takes the kids to school, head to her shift, and prays for the right opportunity, a buyer who can help her press the reset and protect her family's future. That's what I'm calling. She needs my help. There are people in worse situations than that. They need Jenny's help. They need Salsa. They need Brian's. They need Courtney's help. They need all of our helps. This isn't just make money. It's not making money. I mean, yes, that's a big part of it, but it's not just that. We're in a situation where we can help people and make money. How awesome is that? Is anybody brave enough to share their avatar and read out for everybody?
I'll try.
Yeah, please.
So Paul and Maggie have a home and 2 investment properties in the area. Maggie has noticed that Paul is not able to do what he normally does as a landlord and is making a lot of mistakes that just elderly people make. As I'm in my 40s, even I get forgetful. But they want to make plans to use these properties to help them retire. And they now realize that Paul needs more help with Alzheimer's coming on, and that this needs to be solved in the right way to make life as good as possible for Paul and Maggie, considering they put in all this time and effort being landlords in order to have this retirement, to have that cushion, that safety net, and not have problems. I can connect them because I just happen to, from dealing with my dad, know places where they could choose to live together, even though only one has Alzheimer's. I understand how it works for pricing. I've had to go through all of those types of things, and I can give them the choice of making it so that the properties that they have just flow right into paying for their life. Something like seller financing, where they could just go, Courtney, handle our properties, take care of our tenants, pay for us to go where we need to go. I'm 40 years behind them in cognitive decline, and make it so that they don't have the huge pitfalls that elderly people sometimes have when they don't know what they're doing or they do it the wrong way, so that they don't go down the route of a reverse mortgage on the property, and they can literally just transition into where they need to go without all of the really, really, really stressful times that elderly people have when they're not quite sure what move they should make, and they don't remember the next day even how to make the move or what they decided. So Maggie can be calm and loving with Paul, and Paul can have a good life based on the work that he's already put in with Maggie on their investment properties. And those tenants don't have to deal with the issues of the property that are, I mean, I've walked into those properties before where people are living in stuff because they can't afford something else and the landlord can't fix it. It's awful. It's not good for anybody. So Paul and Maggie are here in Utah with their house and their 2 properties, and they need to make those work good for them, like they deserve. Close enough?
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, first of all.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully this, for those of you that were a little bit skeptical on this or whatnot, and understandably, I get it. But if you're wanting to take more action and have them, it's all about the emotion that the definition that you're giving your things that you're doing. When I have a mission to help people just like her, but it's different when it's just like her, but I'm helping her. She's out there. She's someone is exactly like this person is out there. So when I make it a name, I give it a name. It is real. It is emotional. Nothing's gonna stop me from helping her. Not a bad day, not some jerk on the phone that yells at me, called me stupid bald man, even though they don't know I'm bald, but still, it doesn't matter. You want to take action? This sacred time. All of those classes I put in start here. If you take away anything from the 60-day challenge, for the 60-day games, is if you just took away those things, your success rate will skyrocket. I promise you that. Those first lessons that I put in there is the start here classroom, sacred time, the avatar. Those right there will make, I promise you will find success as long as you don't give up. Those are the foundations of how to be successful in this business. Creating specific time, creating your avatar, and taking action, your MMAs. Papa Woody. I appreciate you all. Does anybody have any last comments before we call it a day? It's 12 o'clock. So I want everyone to please share your avatars in the community chats. Put in, or not chat, but in the community board. Post about it. Your avatar, and let's comment on each other's. Let's read each other's. Get ideas. Like maybe you're stumped. Like, okay, great. And this is another reason why I want us to share the avatars, like Marjorie did, is to so we can get ideas. Like maybe we're stumped. Like I don't know what to do. Like I that's cool that like Courtney and Jared and Bruce and Jenny have these avatars kind of created, but I don't even know where to begin. It's okay. Like, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to have that experience to be emotionally attached to it. I'm not divorced with 2 kids and a woman in that's going through these exact challenges, but I can still put myself in that situation. I can still feel that emotion. Great. Thanks, Papa Woody. I'm gonna call you Papa Woody from now on. That's your new name. I love that so much. You have no idea. But this is right here, guys. This is where it's at. So any questions, thoughts? And let's put it so put these in the school community chat board, as I meant to say, as well. The description, the image, everything, and then print them off by tonight, and have it up wherever you're doing your business, wherever you're doing your work. Have it up. Maybe you don't necessarily have a dedicated spot. One, I recommend you do, even if it's like a chair, like that chair in my bedroom is my that's where I'm making those phone calls, or that's where it is. Maybe you can print put it on a 2x6 card You put it on your visor and on your car. Okay, awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you all. Love you all. I'm really excited to read your guys' avatars, and you guys have an awesome day. I'm excited to see the action we're taking. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
Jared.